This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, and this is Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends as we kick off this week.
Yes,
How are you, Jackson?
I'm
Glad to
doing
be here.
good. You like jigsaw puzzles, right?
What I love is, okay, yes or no? I love going into a house that people have the jigsaw puzzle on the dining room table.
Yeah.
Because it tells me this is a family that does stuff together.
Yeah.
But I can get as far and I just get frustrated.
Really?
So I do like doing them. Yeah. I like having it as a family thing. But me personally, kind of, I guess it's something that it's relaxing.
Yeah, it's a good meditative experience because it kind of takes you out.
I do like jigsaws.
Yeah, Alan and I did one for Christmas, and it was a picture of the two of us, and we put it together. It took a couple days, and then we ended up framing it, which is kind of neat.
Okay, yeah.
Which is sort of fun.
I love that
but this grandpa in Colorado Springs just completed the world's largest jigsaw puzzle. 60,000 pieces, okay?
Oh my God.
And he was missing one piece.
Of course.
One piece. And the maker of the puzzle actually sent it to him, but it took him 4 years. And his now 8-year-old granddaughter was 4 at the time when he started it. She's been kind of helping him along the way.
That is
took
neat
up an
to see.
entire room, and it's a world map.
Wow.
60,000
I wonder which
pieces.
piece they missed. Like what country would it have been, or if it was like, what if it was like an ocean?
I'm trying to see if I can find here.
That's
He
massive.
spent anywhere from 800 to 1,000 hours carefully constructing the world's largest jigsaw puzzle. I'll have to look for the missing piece.
This reminds me when we get stuff, everything comes from China now, and they're now giving you extra screws.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say, but I think they're screwing with us, James. I think they're like making. Why do I have this? What am I missing? And now we're scared that we built it wrong because there's a screw missing.
Yes, $600 is what the puzzle cost him to make. And he reached out to the company saying, hey, I'm missing one piece. And they were able to send it to him.
You said he did it with his granddaughter, right?
Yeah,
So
and they
I
put
think
it sections
That's awesome,
together.
man.
Yeah,
spend
it's a
time
family
with
thing.
your
That's what
granddaughter,
puzzles are, right?
Teaching her patience, and he finally completed it. He has a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah.
So a lot of time.
You let it off. He's retired. Which
Yeah.
makes a lot of
Right,
sense.
and now he says, I'm going to miss it now that it's complete.
What is next?
Yeah,
after
what's
you do
next?
that?
I guess you're going to have to find an 80,000 piece.
There's a great
puzzle.
feeling of accomplishment,
Yes,
I guess, that he
for
has.
sure.
Wow.
A great feeling of accomplishment is sending us email, right?
That's
Yes.
it. You can do it by flash@dailyflashshow.com. You go to our website and click on where to watch to find out where we are in your neck of the woods. And there you can sound off on our question of the day. Are you ready?
Ready.
What's something you believe that most people don't? What's something you believe that most people don't?
Aliens. I'm stealing that from you, but it is true. I think I don't think that they're among us, but I know that they're out there, and they one day will be here on Earth. It's very simple to do so. Just as we're trying to go to Mars,
Yeah.
there's got to be people that
Sure,
are
we're
wanting to
trying.
go
I
over-
thought we were already there.
Well, I mean, living on
Living on
Mars. Do you
Mars.
think we're already there?
I think we're already there.
Are you ready to
I think
eat
honestly,
potatoes and drink your own pee?
hey, if I
Thank
got
you
to,
from
right?
Matt
You gotta-
Damon and the
Hey,
Martian.
man, that's a heck of a diet, right?
He was in great shape, I'll give you that.
I will always say there's so many things happening as far as technology wise.
Yeah.
The public is not ready for it yet, and when they're ready, that's
Hey,
when they'll come.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this question, like, what's something you believe that most people don't? And if you answer like in yourself, I think I agree with you on that, because as I read that, I think I love it when people don't think I can do something. Because that's what motivates me. It's like, I
Yes.
got to prove them wrong. I
Yes.
got to
Right.
prove them wrong, and that's what moves through. So maybe that might be your answer.
That could be.
I don't know if I yet believe it, but I find this conversation fascinating about some people believe that we're all living in a simulation.
Oh yeah.
The Matrix.
The Matrix,
Okay.
Flat
and
earthers.
on your note about technology and things that that is far beyond what we can probably grasp or comprehend. But I do think it's a fascinating discussion.
Did I tell y'all about the YouTube? I'm like, I'll watch something on YouTube.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
So one of those is what you're talking
Yeah.
about AI. About how a lot of people are now thinking that AI should be considered a new species. And eventually every
Wow.
species that was made takes over the other species, right?
Right.
And they gave all these other,
Oh,
how
wow.
this could end up, and one of them was the Matrix. They need us for something, much like how we need animals for use of things like, for food or whatever. They're not going to need food, but maybe they need what we see in the Matrix.
Yes.
So the Wachowski brothers might be onto something.
They might be.
So if you believe that, you believe AI is sentient.
Yes.
If
you buy into that philosophy.
I'm buying into it. It's going to be a long, long time, but tell me how they're not going to take over. It's going to could be 100 million years from now, or it might be 100,000 years. It could be 100 years from now.
Never know.
You see the AI playing chess with like the world's greatest chess master, and the AI robot just completely annihilated it.
And ping pong.
Yeah,
have you seen that one too?
Yeah, the ping pong is insane.
It beat every. It's
Are they
not
supposed to make us better?
Well,
I don't know.
So that's what I believe.
Okay.
About AI will be more. We have to take control of it now, obviously.
Okay. And the Earth is round, flat Earthers. The Earth is round.
Right.
Let us know what you think. Question of the day: what's something you believe that most people do not? DailyFlashShow.com. Okay, New York Mayor Mondani is coming under fire for his plans to open city-run grocery stores that offer free groceries. Now, here are the pros. Some people say it could potentially lower prices for folks and fulfill his communist campaign promise. It could also bring new life to rundown neighborhoods, and they believe it could create jobs and provide a community center. Now, the cons, they're saying this creates unnecessary competition. Stores already exist with lower or subsidized prices in New York, especially in Harlem, less expensive than higher-end chains. The taxpayer-funded grocers could hurt existing businesses. And the high cost of this one grocery store, $30 million for one store, which will not open, get this, until 2029. Critics are calling it a food Titanic. Displaces private enterprise, local merchants who pay rent, taxes, fear they can't compete with a subsidized city operation that could lead to job losses and reduced choices.
This from $30 million. If you look, we're showing video of what it really, basically, a grocery store is just a shell. I don't know if that $30 million includes the inventory that goes in it. Also, Spirit Airlines possibly might be partly saved because of the government, might be owning some of that. So we're seeing how much, when does the government getting involved in it? Do you think this is going to bring efficiency or whatever? Is this what free enterprise was? There's some businesses that if they don't work, they don't work. You have to get rid of them.
They've tried these free grocery stores in other places, and they've completely failed. They've closed up shop because the shelves are basically bare. People go
taking
in,
advantage.
They take advantage.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, and then there's who continues to fund this? And here's the thing: in East Harlem, they already have abundant, affordable bodegas, 24-hour markets available to folks.
That's what I was going to ask you, because a lot of times we've been trying to address this in the Black community. There are food deserts where we don't have great grocery stores that have adequate food, adequate fruits and vegetables. It's a food desert. We have more McDonald's and fast food chains in the neighborhood than that. So just based off what you just said, that's what I was going to ask. Is it addressing the food desert? But there are affordable places already. Why do we keep adding to the situations? Why don't we just find out a different way to address whatever issues that community is having?
And what I don't understand too is there are food banks aplenty. Like, I don't think anybody is going without a meal. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but the amount of money that these NGOs collect and that they offer to help with the homeless and they offer to help with food banks, it's insane to me to think anybody could go without a meal.
And it does say a little bit more about the mindset of the mayor too, as far as, everybody take care of everybody. If you make your citizens dependent on you, they are dependent on you, and you can control them easier.
That is true.
I'm telling you, that's where it's at. So that's probably why it's such a big push on this, under the guise of, hey, this is really helping out. But $30 million for a grocery store.
And it won't open until 2029.
Yeah, so
I don't understand
that's a long time.
And he might be up for re-election or might be out of office at that point.
I'm certain that's what it is.
I always say, it may not be popular, but not a handout, but a lift up. All right, so don't give me a handout, but help me lift myself up.
Yeah,
and then you go, well, how
point.
do you do that? All right, I'll tell you how. Is that if you want free groceries, you have to work here in the grocery store, stocking shelves, sweeping the floors, helping other people. It's called workfare, and it does work, and it has happened in the past. And they have cities that go after workfare, and it gives. It seems like for me, if I needed help, I would feel better about myself that I'm working for it. And I'm helping other people. I'm helping the whole community by doing my part because I'm helping me.
Right.
Instead of, all right, I need it, give me my free stuff.
And you come from a place of, I've been there. I know what it's like. I know how to help other people. You're able to give that lift up with a handout because you've had that experience.
Everybody can do something. That's why we have, there's greeters at Walmart. I'm not saying that but if let's say you go, I can't do anything. I'm in a wheelchair and I can barely stand up. You can be a greeter.
You can.
Right.
Easily.
That's
All right, your thoughts. We want to hear. I love that
Yeah.
gross injustice. Good job on that.
Thank
More
you.
Flash coming up around the corner. Here's our question of the day.
Thank
That's
you
all
for your
to say.
post for that one, actually.
All righty. What? We did it again. What part of the brain controls balance and coordination and letting your coworker, I'm going to walk all over her when she's trying to do something. Tell us what that is. Tell you what, next time.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see if you got today's Brain Flash question right. Here is the question. What part of the brain controls balance and coordination? The answer, the cerebellum. So congratulations if you got that right. All right, if you are looking to set yourself up for success on the job in 2026, there are a few steps you can take to make it all happen. Here with the details is Tim Paradis from Business Insider. Tim, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
What's
Great
the
to be
most,
here.
what would you say is the most important step someone should take right now when it comes to looking for work?
Well, I think because it's still early in the year, it makes sense to kind of take stock of where you were last year and where you hope to go this year. So if you had big wins last year, think about how you might reproduce that. And if you have goals for this year that maybe you didn't get to last year, or things like that, or just new things you want to learn, stuff like that, really try to set a few big goals for yourself for the new year.
I've heard of the elevator pitch, but this one is new. What is a brag sheet and how does it help?
Yeah, it's a good question. A brag sheet is what one career expert I spoke to calls it. And essentially, it's 3 or 4 bullets of things that you accomplished last year that you could point to, whether it's in that elevator pitch, or it's, maybe as you start to frame up a job, performance review, or just thinking, these are the big wins that I had. And as much as you think you won't forget them because they were so impactful and monumental at the time, it's easy to do. So the folks I talked to said, document just a couple of these things. It doesn't have to be extensive or exhaustive, but just really write down those key things that you think were huge accomplishments last year.
And I'm sure this plays into the next question. Why is it so important to ask for feedback at the end of the year?
So yeah, feedback is, of course, how we grow and how we learn what we do well and what we need to work on. One thing that I thought was interesting from some of the folks I spoke to was that you don't just have to ask for feedback from your boss. Often that comes up in a performance review situation anyway, but you can even ask respected coworkers, say, hey, I really like working with you. I respect your opinion. I think you do this really well. Is there anything you think I could grow, an area where I could grow, or something I could do better, or something that I should keep doing? So it's helpful to do it almost in a 360 sense of the people you work with, not just the boss.
Yeah, and anytime I think you ask people for help in that kind of context, that gives them like a greater role in your success. How can you clean up your calendar, and why is that important?
Well, as I'm sure you know, the calendar is one of those time sucks for a lot of us, and it's easy to let it out of hand. And so the start of the year, end of the year, what have you, is a great time to take a look at it and figure out, do I need to be in this meeting? Could this meeting be done some other way? Could I respectfully ask that I be included, maybe only as absolutely necessary? It's just a way to carve out more time for yourself, because it's very easy to have meetings build up during the year, and then you realize you just don't have enough time to actually get your work done or to concentrate and sort of take a step back.
Yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming, especially with so much going on at the very beginning of the year. And Tim, what would you say we should prioritize first? I mean, it's easy to get bogged down in the personal, but when it comes to the professional and looking for a new job, what should be our number one priority?
I'd go back to that brag sheet. It's really just documentation. Ultimately, it's just recording what you've done, and having a few of those things down on paper or in a file somewhere can be really helpful, especially because as time moves on, you can forget them, or you can just let it fall off the priority list. So just getting that done, because it's kind of backward looking, makes a lot of sense. And then maybe turn your attention to something like, okay, how can I cut through my calendar a little bit to create some more free time at work?
Yeah, and I think that's the important part where that calendar comes in. I like to be able to write stuff down, and that helps me remember certain things throughout the year and accomplishments, and it just makes it a lot easier. But, lots of folks like their iPhone, and it's easy to do that way. Tim, great to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're going to share this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com/FMI. If you are looking for a job and you need some advice, this is the interview you want to save and take a look at.
All right, everybody, it's the time of the show. Thank you there, Jackson, where we all stop, we ponder, and just say, Mitch, please. All right, listen, everybody does it, and maybe that's probably part of the problem, okay? We're talking about the number of times a day the average person uses toilet paper. What do you think it is? Believe it or not, it's 3. And now, apparently, every one of those trips comes with a carbon footprint. There's some environmental researchers now that say toilet paper production quietly adds up, from cutting trees to processing pulp to shipping bulky rolls around the country. Even recycled toilet paper is not carbon-free thanks to energy-intensive cleaning and manufacturing. We're not talking about what you do afterwards. We're talking about before. All right. Anyway, the suggestion now, it says, hey, use less paper, choosing brands with lower emissions, switching to alternatives like bidets, which, yes, is how we officially reached the point where climate change followed us into the bathroom. Because in 2026, nothing is sacred, not even your Charmin moment. So we're just waiting for that warning label that says, please wipe responsibly. Take care of the toilet paper. I'm one of those, and this is something we don't have to spend a lot of time on. Okay. I get it.
We got a minute and a half, so.
I'm one of these.
Oh, you are? Oh, so you wrap it around. Okay, got it.
Then I'm all like, what? I don't know how the 1 or 2 squares people can live. You got to have really, it's got to be 3, 4, 5, 10 ply in order to make that happen.
And it's got to be clean. It's got to be clean.
Yeah.
You know, I love the idea of only using a bidet, but it's not realistic because you still, it doesn't matter. You have to have the toilet paper. I'm sorry.
You got to dry off, right?
I mean,
afterwards.
Dry off.
I had a friend who just literally came back from Japan, not even about a half a month ago, and they said when you go there, everybody has a bidet. I mean, it's just like in Japan, everybody, it's part of it. And they also, if you go to public bathrooms, sometimes in some places, it's just a hole. Right?
Yeah.
And for ladies and men.
Yes.
So, you know, we here in America, I think it's one of those little things that we value very much, but we don't think too much about unless there's a hurricane, unless there's an evacuation. Why is it toilet paper is the first thing we go on?
I don't know, and I don't know why toilet paper was such a big deal during COVID. I never could understand that. It almost seemed like it was like the toilet paper lobby that was like, okay, let's make it like we're gonna run out of toilet paper.
You wonder about that, especially since we're talking about how toilet paper is one of those things that actually has a huge footprint to it. But we still have it.
Here's my slogan: life's too short by the Charmin.
Well, I like that.
February is Heart Health Month, and heart disease is still the leading cause of death in the U.S. Here's the warning signs to protect your heart.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S., yet many of those affected have no idea until it's too late. The good news, experts say there are things you can do to safeguard your heart. They note a good place to start is knowing your risk factors, both ones you're born with and the ones connected to daily lifestyle habits. Fortunately, there's an easy way to evaluate your risk. Bayer, the creator of aspirin more than 150 years ago and a leader in science and heart health, offers a quick 2-minute heart health assessment at seeyourrisks.com. This online tool helps you take the first step in understanding your heart condition and recognize early warning signs. Using it will help you learn about general risk factors, get a sense of how your heart age compares to your actual age, and you'll receive general lifestyle guidance to discuss with a doctor, such as diet, exercise, and managing stress. It can also help you recognize common signs that may be associated with changes in heart health, including chest discomfort, pressure or palpitations, or feeling unusually tired or out of breath. Monitoring and tracking things like heart rate and blood pressure at home and taking notes you can review during medical appointments can also support more meaningful conversations with your healthcare provider. Visit seeyourrisks.com to learn more.
Check this out, you guys. A grocery receipt from 1997 is lighting up social media.
Okay.
Take a look at this.
Honey used to be, like a thing of honey, used to be $2.49. It is now $9.95. Little Debbie's brownies. We all know what those are. Those were $1.09. They are now $5.75. Coffee used to be $2.47. It is now, for like a bag of ground coffee, it is $9.43. How are we supposed to survive?
So this clip has more than 100,000 views and counting. Her mother-in-law saved the receipt from an H-E-B in Texas that featured 122 items with a grand total of $155. Now, she asked people for comments to compare prices in 1997 to today's prices. Cantaloupes on her receipt for 77 cents each in 1997, or nearly $3 each today. Pampers, 78-count box, bought in 1997 for $12.99, now $32. Lysol, then $2.17, now more than $6. The receipt would now set you back $504 for the same list of items.
All right, so I'm trying to think 97 where I was. I remember, once I had my 4 kids and stuff, I remember going to the grocery store one time. It had to have been early 2000s, whatever. And I remember spending an amount of money, and the lady's like, wow, this is more than my mortgage payment. And like, and I didn't realize, but you have 4 kids,
sure.
there's 7 people, or 5 people in the house. Or
6.
6 people, thank you.
It's okay.
I was never there. How about
Family math.
and then 2 dogs as well. So, the bills would really get up there. You know when I really notice it is watching old movies and see gas prices.
Yes.
You can gauge how when the movie was made based off that, and it's interesting too. And here's the thing: speaking of gas prices, we get these prices, somebody raises them up or whatever, and we get comfortable with them, and we forget that things were 77 cents for cantaloupes that long ago.
But we should mention 1997. It's 2025. We're 30 years later. Of course, prices are going to go up. And that's just part of an economy and a growing economy. And because prices were got up so high between 20 and 24, fuel is part of that process. So now that fuel prices are coming down, grocery prices should start to come down.
All right, moving forward, the headline reads, he robbed the cradle and she broke the internet. A 22-year-old Italian influencer has gone viral for a series of posts about a 4-decade age gap that she has with her 60-year-old husband, 60. She met her older half, Massimo, 5 years ago when he was her high school philosophy teacher, and she somehow got an A in the class, I'm guessing. She also said she had a crush on him. Nothing happened. 4 years later, they met at a bookstore as adults, and that's when they started dating. A video she posted has more than 4 million views. She compared photos of them from 2010. He was 45. She was 5. He was 45. She was 5. Let you know about that. Those that actually come to her defense says love doesn't know an age. I completely agree with that wholeheartly. I think though love just doesn't have great conversations. I guess if you found love and you feel great, maybe you want somebody with that. I wholeheartely, but I gotta tell you, dating is not fun that way.
Well, because you had that experience. You were dating girls that were much younger via dating apps, and that's just, you're getting out there, you're getting back in the swing of things, and you're having conversations with people who have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
100%. Yeah. And I always give this disclaimer too. I've also dated 17 years older, and I will take 17 years older so I can understand.
Really?
It's just so much mature and just
different.
And probably there's an age in your life once you hit that point, you're probably
you can't go back.
Right. Maybe that's probably right. I don't know.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody, and I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. Daily Flash, today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
All right. We, of course, love having you along for the ride.
Yes,
and
we do.
Here as we roll through this week, we got you here with us. And, of course, we love hearing from everybody, right?
And also we got to check in with James Alexander because he's got his eye on our stations across the nation.
Yes, 219 stations across the country, American Forces Network. You can go on dailyflashshow.com and click on where to watch. And our local friends today comes from Wichita, Kansas. KCTU.
There's no place like home.
There's no place
Is
like
it
home.
the Glenn Campbell song? Is it about okay, go
Wichita,
ahead.
yeah.
All right.
Wichita Lions.
So
Lions.
Wichita, Kansas is the air capital of the world.
Air
All right.
capital
So I had to
of the
learn that.
world.
Yep.
Oh.
It's the home of Pizza Hut.
The Hut.
Yeah, I didn't
Home
know
of
that.
Pizza
Really?
Hut.
I didn't know that.
I think they started there, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh. And Boeing has roots there. So Boeing, who makes all.
So is that where the
their-
Pizza Hut,
all
the
their
iconic
planes.
restaurant design came from? I'm assuming it is like
the-
Kansas, you know,
I
and
I
like
don't know if it came from
like
Wichita.
The Hut. Well, it's
Yeah,
the Hut,
like the
right?
Hut.
It's
Yeah.
great marketing, though.
Right.
100%. You always know a building is, and you know what I do appreciate about Pizza Hut. I love how things are going full circle. They're bringing back in some locations the buffet. Remember the pizza
Really?
buffet?
No.
Yeah, they are. It's
Oh,
sit-down
wow.
service because everybody went to delivery.
Yeah.
You know, and my dad was director of operations for Domino's Pizza, so
Yeah.
Pizza Hut was the enemy when I was a kid. But I love Pizza Hut pan pizza.
Oh,
but
I know.
But what I miss was those checkered tablecloths.
Tablecloths.
So
Oh, wow.
they're kind of going back to that.
Yeah.
So Pizza Hut, if you're listening, continue with this. We have it delivered is fine, but I would love to go and sit down for a restaurant.
Yeah.
A buffet, you know you're eating more. You
Oh,
walk around, you probably
yeah.
ate 2 large pizzas.
100%. And the red cups.
Oh,
Yes,
the old
the
school
red
red
cups.
cups.
There is a sushi place right around the corner from my house that used to be a Pizza Hut. And you know what I'm talking about? It's called Juju. And
Do they still have the red table?
they have they don't have the red tablecloths, but they have the
red
cups
cups.
that say Pizza Hut on it. And they have a mixed drink. I don't drink, but they have a mixed drink called the Hut or something.
Right.
Playing
That's
a
awesome.
tribute to it, which is really, really cool.
I did hear somebody.
A little nostalgia.
I don't know if they're opening a new Pizza Hut in the shape of the old iconic restaurants, or if one still exists and they're bringing more attention to it. But something along those lines.
They're bringing it all back,
Yeah.
which I'm happy with. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's everything went to delivery. I think 2020 and the COVID, everybody started delivering, and so it made it much bigger. We got some trending news stories and things that you need to hear about, and things that you're definitely going to be talking about as you head into the water cooler. The National Zoo in Washington D.C. has introduced a brand new baby. It's called Lin Mai, and she is causing really quite a stir.
Aww,
She's got a
look at
global fan base already, thanks to what they have as a elephant cam you're looking at. That's placed right inside of her enclosure. You can watch her socialize, play, learn in real time from 7 till 7. And as a special giveaway that's taking place, she actually has an original painting made by her parents called Our Growing Herd.
Aww.
I'll show you that picture there. Quite the artist. Isn't
Look
that
at
great?
that.
Isn't that awesome?
By her parents.
These elephants, anyway, a great creative way to make some money. I know that there are. I had a penguin one time where penguins, they put paint on the
Really?
penguin's feet and they walked all over it. It's neat, and you think, hold on, it's that easy to make art? You just get animals walk all over a canvas.
And they charge them
still neat.
millions of dollars for that painting.
You can still do it.
Yes.
Get somebody to
I
give it-
love her. Look at how
praise it.
sweet she is.
And you think about it, wasn't it? I believe the United States never really had elephants. Abraham Lincoln never knew about elephants, and if you think about it, they really weren't all that big.
yeah.
Well,
Globally.
probably never saw one or
You never
whatever
saw one,
because
yeah.
they were rare.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
Right.
circuses had them, but
Right.
And now we're so fortunate that we've got zoos like the National Zoo, Cincinnati Zoo, that can provide us this beautiful view.
Did that elephant have blue eyes?
It did look like it
did.
did. You're
blue
right.
eyes. I'm like,
It
hold
must
on.
be It must have been
Maybe they're baby
babies,
boys when they're
baby
born.
elephant.
just
yeah.
like human babies, like that.
It must be
Yeah.
a filter.
Look at that trunk.
Look at that truck coming around the back stretch.
Stay with us. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Mitch English.
Hey.
So the King of Pop is back in the spotlight this weekend with the highly anticipated biopic Michael, and people are definitely talking. Early reactions are split though. Some fans are praising the performances and the music, saying it captures the magic of Jackson's career, while others are questioning how the film handles the more controversial parts of
Yeah.
his life. The film stars his nephew Jafar Jackson in the lead role and has been one of the most talked about releases of the year, even before hitting the theaters. Love it or hate it, Michael already proving one thing: the King of Pop still knows how to command
That's
attention.
a good point on that. And it's kind of a weird ending where they're at because it doesn't talk about the controversy story at all. But if really, a lot of people they want to hear the whole story behind these. And actually, I don't know if you know about this. There's another biopic out about another Michael that actually really tells you. It's very motivating.
Really?
It's coming out in theaters. Check this out.
You know, kid, it's a long road to the top. Remember, it's about the journey. How old are you anyway, kid?
13.
Won't you get back to me when you're a man?
How will I know when that is?
Well, you'll know when you've got a story. But for now, just enjoy the show from backstage.
Okay, bye, honey. I love you.
I love you too, Mom. Bye.
Look, man, this is my town. I make this sound.
I just want to be heard.
Well, you'll know when you've got a story.
No one or no thing will stop me.
Listen, you're a Chefkowski. Your grandfather was a travel agent. I'm a travel agent. It's your destiny to do travel.
This is not my destiny.
I don't know what to do with that kid.
You need to listen and spend more time with him.
Just to look around and say it's a perfect day.
Hey, think you're good enough to dig on your old man? Let's go.
I can't hear. I can't hear anything. I can't hear.
Dr. Simmons, you have an emergency call.
It's gonna be okay.
Dr. Simmons.
Doctor, what's the news? The boy's hands are pretty messed up. He's lost use of all of his digits.
Is there anything else?
Complete auditory losses.
You mean my boy can't hear?
I'm sorry. Yes.
I gotta get out of here. Go. Listen. Beat. Go. Sit. No one and nothing will stop me. I am Mike Checka. Let's turn this mother out.
And you've been waiting all day for this one. It's the absolute latest from newcomer Mike Checka with his #1 song. A little background behind this guy. He was ready to be a travel agent, but it looks like he's blown his way all the way to #1.
Well, believe it. Wow. And there he is. Right there's our Mike Checka. Right there. Unbelievable. True story. Oh, that's the true Michael story you want to watch. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely, Mike Checka. Oh my goodness.
All right, look for that. Don't look for that in the theaters.
Don't. Only here on Daily Flash.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash, a new documentary spotlighting the breakthrough Lunar Voyage 1 missions now streaming. Joining us now with more to drive me to the moon is Fabiana Neves. She's the Vice President of Castro Americas. Tell us first, share the details on Drive Me to the Moon documentary and what can viewers expect to see in this?
Oh, wow. Viewers can definitely expect a behind-the-scenes documentary that really showcase what it takes to be in the South Pole of Lunar. And starting with the technology behind, the people behind, the collaboration behind, everything that it takes on a mission to be in the moon.
This is fascinating. And it's so great that we are now headed back to the moon. But how does this latest lunar voyage actually affect future space exploration?
Great question. It definitely supports the mission of looking into a sustainable way of human presence in the moon. So we are really keen to making sure that we get to this goal. So it definitely, this mission helps, is a step towards that goal of making sure there is sustainable way for human presence in the moon.
sustainable, big, important thing there. So I appreciate you saying that. Can you actually share some previous contributions that Castro has actually made to the space industry?
Yeah, of course. Castro has been partnering with the space industry for over 7 decades, starting with the Apollo missions and NASA, supporting all the Mars rovers, Opportunity, Curiosity, Perseverance, and now partnering with Lunar Outpost on the Lunar Voyage mission. So our technology, our lubricants have provided everything that is needed in terms of lubrication and supporting these machines to perform their well. So in these missions, there's no room for failure. So Castro has been supporting all of them over 7 decades to be successful missions.
And Fabiana, the most important question, where can our viewers actually see Drive Me to the Moon?
Oh, it's live already, so you can go to YouTube or simply visit our website, castro.com/Drive Me to the Moon.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is really fascinating stuff. And we're going to have this link as well as the interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Credit unions help consumers access credit, manage everyday expenses, and maximize financial benefits. Scott Simpson of America's Credit Unions has more.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. America's credit unions, all of them, are member-owned, not-for-profit cooperatives. Different from a for-profit bank, the stockholder, the shareholder of that institution, is the same people that are the customers of the institution. And so we call them members and credit union members. That reality drives a culture that actually ends up benefiting from a pricing perspective. Most people who are members of credit unions understand this natively now, but it's lower fees on the products and services they get from their institution. It's higher rates on deposits, and it's lower interest rates. Go to americascreditunions.org. We can help you weigh in on legislation there, or we can help you find directions to your nearest credit union so you can join and be a part of this.
Well, February marks the start of tax season. Personal finance expert Carlos Garcia is joining us now with smart ways to get your finances ready. Carlos, first off, why should families start getting tax documents together right now? And how can actually families make this a frugal February? What steps do they need to take?
This is the perfect time to start. You should start gathering your W-2, your 1099s, donation receipts, and your brokerage statements. Put them all in a digital folder and have them ready for your tax accountant by March 15. So you have time, but you need to start now.
What are some of the steps that they need to do to actually get to that point?
Well, there are 4 things you can do this month. Number 1, pay your high interest debt. That means your credit card. Prioritize that. Second, automate your bills. Don't spend money doing this manually. Automate and save money like that. And then third, look at your investments and long-term retirement savings. This is your future asset. And then finally, many times you can bundle up services and save money. So look at different things. For example, your wireless service might offer a bundle with streaming and satellite connectivity. You can save money like that.
This is really interesting stuff. How is really T-Mobile's Better Value Plan uniquely positioned to help families out?
The Better Value Plan is really interesting because it helps families save over $1,000 by bundling their wireless plan with streaming services and satellite connectivity. This plan starts at $140 a month with 3 lines, but what's even better is that you can lock in that rate for the next 5 years.
That takes care of the next 5 years, which takes a lot of headaches out of the equation for sure. Where can folks go if they need more information?
You can go to tmobile.com to learn more.
Carlos, thank you so much. We're going to post this interview as well as links on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
Still thinking about what to get mom? Here are some great ideas.
Mother's Day is around the corner. Lifestyle expert Megan Murphy has curated a lineup of gift ideas that resonate with every type of mom.
For a mom who's into health and wellness, the Garmin Venue 4 GPS smartwatch is something she'll use every day. Not only does it track her activities, it provides insights to help her better understand her body and make smarter decisions. If you've got a DIY enthusiast mom, celebrate her creativity with Cricut Joy Extra and Cricut Design Space. She can make something meaningful like a 3D arrangement of paper flowers that will never wilt. Mom can make projects all in one platform with thousands of designs and step-by-step guidance. For the outdoorsy mom, there is BirdFeed. This cutting-edge bird feeder is redefining the bird watching experience. It delivers images in stunning 4K, and its all-metal construction provides long-lasting durability. Plus, it can identify up to 6,000 species of birds.
For more information, you can head to each of the brand's websites.
More people are using GLP-1s for weight loss, but it takes more than a prescription. Here with tips, MyFitnessPal dietitian Melissa Yeager.
As GLP-1 medications reshape weight loss, the real challenge isn't starting, it's navigating the journey with confidence. And that's where MyFitnessPal GLP-1 support comes in. Users can log their medication, dose, injection site, meals, timing, and side effects all in one place, eliminating the need for multiple apps and displaying a complete picture of their health. With customizable reminders, you can stay on track with your medication while building your new routine. And by logging your meals, medication, and how you're feeling together, you can understand what's working for you and feel confident every step of the way. Because every GLP-1 experience is unique, MyFitnessPal gives you the tools to see the complete picture. So download the MyFitnessPal app for free from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and unlock tools like GLP-1 support today.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Don't just sit there. Come hang out with us online. We're all over Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Search for Daily Flash Show. Jump in on the fun. And, of course, you can always sound off. Very simple. flash@dailyflashshow.com. That is our email address.
We have been focused on a story involving a May to December romance. He's 40 years older than she is. She put out a post on Instagram and showed a picture of him when he was 45 and she was 5, and people lit her up. But, you know, the age difference is nothing unusual, but there's some good stats about it.
There are some good stats about this, and I had to look it up. Okay. Listening. 40% of marriages have a husband who is...
So far, 40? Is that what you said? 40%?
Yeah, 40% of marriages have a husband who is 3 or more years older than his wife. Oh. All right, 20% of remarried men, are married a woman at least 10 years younger, and another 18% had a wife 6 to 9 years younger.
Interesting.
Now, only 1% of couples have husbands 20 years older than their wives.
So, you know, as you get older, I think... I can't speak for women. Maybe you might tell me if I'm wrong. How about that? Is that like as you get older, as a woman, you know, we're all men and women. We're looking for security, obviously, for the rest of your life. Who do you want to be with? And it seems like if you marry somebody, you know, by the time you get older, you're making cash. You're pretty much you're not going to go out and you're pretty. You know how you are with money, I guess.
Yes.
That does, I'm sure, bring security to women. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm making this is.
No, you're
right. It's a financial transaction
there is
now.
It is a business deal in some accounts when it comes to younger women marrying older men. Now, I'm sure that there's something there. I mean, this woman who's 40 years younger than the husband she married said she had a crush on him because he was a high school teacher. Mm-hmm. But yes, I think there's some security. Even an older figure, an older man in a relationship provides some kind of security.
Can you be loved?
Just where's love? There's no more love.
Just want to be loved.
Well, if you have a cheerleader like Belichick, then she can cheer you up all the time.
Boy, I'm afraid he's going to die of a heart attack. That's just me.
Thank y'all for joining us. Take care. We'll see you when we look at you. Bye-bye.